Good morning, citizens of Liberty County. It's Wednesday again, and we're back to bring to you our COVID update from the county. Because we happen to be in the presence of Team Liberty, we'd like to, I guess Mr. Howard's going to make notice that Mayor Brown is out of town, another mission right now. You know, some other mayors are in various places, but they weren't on a teleconference earlier, so we heard from them. Just know that we're all in this together, and we continue to work for your favor, in your favor. Just want to remind you, a gentle reminder that we're still in a pandemic. We need your help. We need your compliance in every way that you can. Please help us out. We do know that school starts tomorrow here in Liberty County because they are doing virtual, but there will be some opportunities for some gathering as they are having their lunches. The buses are making routes, passing out lunches, as well as I think I heard them say there'll be some lunch sites at the various schools, so there'll be some gathering. So we're asking everybody to remember the 3 W's, wash your hands, wear your face covering, and watch your distance. So write that on the wall somewhere, put it on the refrigerator door, so you have that as your reminder as we continue. Now, you will hear some sharing of our numbers in just a minute. Our numbers are not going down. They're not going exponentially up, but they're not going down. So there's still the necessity for us to be vigilant in everything that we do. Now, be a committee of one. As a reminder, be a committee of one. You make sure that you and your family, or you, do what you can to help to control this virus as best as we can. We don't know the duration of it, but we're in it. We're in it until we're in it. Well, we're in it until we're out of it, whatever that time is. So we're looking forward to adhering to what science is saying. Once again, not politics, but what science is saying, so that we can each do our part, which is so very necessary. Let's take, here lately you've heard the news like I have. Let's take a special effort to watch our children and, of course, watch our seniors. And then want to remind our middle population, we know that it's summer and you want to do the things that you normally would do, but this is not a time to do that. This is not a time to do that. We need you to social distance. We need you to watch your travels. My mama would say, watch your crowds, watch your crowds. And let's all support each other, help each other, that we will come out of this thing when that time comes. So from Team Liberty to you, we still have your back. We care for you. We're working for you diligently. We appreciate the work of our EMA office. And once again, all these persons who stand behind me, who stand for you, but behind me, and all those persons who you don't see, but yet working for the good of all Liberty County. So let's do that, and we know we can make it through this thing because we're all in it together. At this time, we'll hear from Mayor Larry Baker, the city of Walthamville.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Team Liberty, I'm honored to be here this morning with you all. There's no new updates in the city of Walthamville, but I do want to wave my hand to the city of Walthamville because, like the chairman said, that we are all in this together. We must continue to think safe, act safe, and be safe. So we will ditto what Chairman Levitt said. We're all in this together, and let us continue to move forward. At this time, I yield to County Administrator Joey Brown. I saw your hand.
I'm actually going to yield to Mr. Howard.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Baker. We'll save the best for last, so we'll have Mr. Brown come last. First of all, we want to say thank you to the city of Hinesville residents. We appreciate your hard work and diligence as it relates to good health habits and practices in our city. But I would like to just pause for a moment and highlight some numbers that I think are very significant as we try to maneuver through this pandemic environment. We are at 775 positive cases right now, and that is an increase of 126 since we last came before you. Now, I want to also emphasize 2 weeks prior to that, we had an average of 13 per day. Now, we fast forward to this week, from last week to now, we're averaging 18 cases per day. That is a significant increase. And so we're going to really ask our community to please continue to adhere to CDC's guidelines, because it could save your life as well as others. Now, and I know I have driven around the county and the city, and I've seen where there are gatherings of primarily young folks, I would say. Mr. Brown and I had a discussion as to young versus medium and ages, and this is roughly between 21 to 39, okay? Well, at some point in time, we as a community, we need to realize, and I'm not saying that we don't, but some of the sector of the population of the community feels that they are immune to the virus. And I would like to just share this story with you because it is very important that we realize that this virus affects individuals differently. It doesn't impact you health-wise the same. It doesn't have a common theme so far as how it impacts you. One of my friends, just before I walked in, he and I were discussing a loss of his nephew, actually. He just lost his nephew within the past week to coronavirus. And his nephew was 27 years old, and that's in Liberty County. And so I am imploring you to really, let's take this serious, because this virus, it does not discriminate on age, sex, or gender, or otherwise. It can impact each and every one of us in a way that is life-changing. May not take your life, but it could affect the way that you live for the rest of your life. And so we are very concerned about this because the numbers are going up. We've also realized that we have decreased the testing in Liberty County, and Mr. Brown would talk to you perhaps about this a little more in detail, but the testing, although the testing numbers are going down, the positivity rate is going up, and that's not where we want to be at this point in time. So we're asking you to please continue. For the most part, we are very pleased with what our community is doing. That's why we come each week, as the chairman said, to give you an update and to really encourage you to continue. And so on behalf of Mayor Allen Brown, who is off, he's doing his mayoral work, and the city council of the city of Hinesville, we say thank you for what you're doing, but let's not get complacent at this point in time. Let's keep up the good work so that we could get through this together. And now I'll yield to the best for last, Mr. Brown.
Thanks very much, Kenny. And I promise, Kenny and I didn't script what I'm fixing to say to you because I didn't have any idea what he was fixing to talk about, as a matter of fact. But the team effort that's going on in the community is amazing. I know that there are certain businesses that require masking in those facilities, and there's some that encourage it. I'm moved as I go around the community and look at what this community is doing together to combat this virus. And just to piggyback on something Kenny said there, some people would say this is just a virus. The flu is just a virus. This is a nasty bug, and I think everybody realizes that. But what you're doing out there as a community is amazing. And I think it's an example of the team spirit that not only is present in this governmental entity situation that we're in, working together, but it's also present in the community. And so as you know, we've come up here, gosh, I don't know, guys, how many weeks now that we've been doing this, and we've banged on the podium, and we've talked a little harsh as a baseball coach might talk to his team before a big game. To do things and do things and do things. And I've got to come here this morning and say thank you for what you're doing. I've got to recognize just how much that ball team is performing. out there in the field. So thank you so much. Kenny's talked about the numbers a little bit, so I'm not going to go over those. I will just mention the hospitalization numbers have been up and down here in Liberty as through the Coastal Health District. We're up one more bed as of yesterday than from where we were a week ago. And you do remember that the critical beds are limited, and so they're more limited here in Liberty than they are in other jurisdictions. Kenny mentioned about the testing. You remember we talked last week about diversity having to go to an appointment-only schedule. They have had to limit the number of days now that they can do things. We were in communication just a little while ago this morning about logistics of trying to be able to handle that many people that they were seeing, which caused some of this cutback. And I hope to be in conversations this week with the CEO of Diversity to see how we could get some of those back on schedule in a site that is publicly safe for traffic and of staging of that area. So just know that we're working again in Team Liberty to try to make that happen. They do continue, though, to do those at Diversity by appointment under certain guidelines. That website is diversityhc.org. You can look that up or Google it on their site. The Coastal Health District also continues to do these tests by appointment, and again, at their website at gachd.org, you'll be able to find out information on that. County-wise, there's been really no change since our last communication. The offices continue to function with limited accessibility guidelines, as is the County Commission meeting. So again, we appreciate your patience there. We do encourage you to do everything you can do online or to call us. We'd be glad to bring you the service if we're able to. Court facilities, no change. That judicial order, still in effect, and really no change to recreation. With that, again, I say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this community and work with you through this like we worked through many other challenges, and I'm sure this won't be the last, but there's one thing for sure. We've made it through them before, and we'll make it through this one. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing with our community. Thank you, community. We've been told that some of you have been diligent and that you watch us every Wednesday morning, so we appreciate that. Share, if you will, with your neighbors and friends and family. I often use the term Liberty County proud, and I think as a county, we can be a county that stands out, Mr. Howard, that when even in our coastal health district, we can be the county that better manages this pandemic. If anybody can do it, Liberty County can do it. So let's do that as a committee of one, as I said earlier. Something, too, that comes to mind is that when Mr. Howard mentioned the loss of a friend's 27-year-old son, am I right? Yes, sir. So last week we talked about, if I didn't talk about it, we had 2 deaths. Now there's up to 3, but that death was a 95-year-old. And so now we go from a 95-year-old to a 27-year-old. So that tells you right there it does have no respective person, as we say. So this virus is serious. Let us be careful. Of course, most of us heard about the young man in Savannah, the child in Savannah that was 7 years old that lost his life to COVID. So listen, you all know, like I know, the young ones learn very quickly. Come on, say it to them, hey, come on, let's wash those hands. Let's wash those hands. Let's wash those hands. And they'll pick up on it. In fact, they'll lead us the way. So I just want to make us cognizant of what's we have to deal with and we have to be serious about, and what's going to take all of us working together to bring this under containment. So once again, I'm going to close with the 3 W. Wash, watch your distance. That's that feet, and wear your face covering. All right, I think we got it. Next year, next week we're going to retest for it. All right, wash, wear, and watch. Have a great day. Thank you so much for being a part of our listening session today.